what's going on? Matthew Nickerson, Sanji Capital, Sanji Global Consulting, where I bring you the best of millennial motivation and investing. Investing. I have on my Ethereum shirt today, so I'm in full force. But what I came to talk to you all about was, why did you sell your Bitcoin? It's the question that I'm asking. Why did you sell your Bitcoin? Now, I'm going to show you a few things, but I wanted to talk to y'all about a few developments that have been happening, good and bad, in the last couple of months. On the bad side, we've had tweets from Elon Musk that are basically saying that the environmental damage because of the energy usage of Bitcoin is what's causing him to suspend Bitcoin payments on Tesla. We've heard of China banning Bitcoin and exiling their miners. So now their miners are basically picking up the gear and having to move to other countries in fear of being arrested for what they're doing. There's been a lot of different bad, but there's also been very good in the past couple of months. The good news is there is an energy committee that's being put forth that's talking about renewable and clean energy, solar energy that can run mining rigs, as well as different talks about the ESG or environmental impacts of mining. Other news developments are coming more from South America, in which they're talking about El Salvador has made it legal tender for you to use Bitcoin. Now, their currency collapsed a few years back, and they've been using US dollars. But when their people come to the United States and send back payments to their country, which is a good amount of their GDP is called remittance payments, they're doing that now with Bitcoin. So their family members are buying Bitcoin and then sending it back to El Salvador from America rather than Western Union, so that they can get around the middleman and centralized authorities such as Visa and MasterCard that want to get a fee on that. There's some other news coming from a billionaire in Mexico that is working on making Mexico's bank accept Bitcoin as well. And there's just a lot of good developments that are happening. Paraguay is opening up talks of legalizing it as well. But one of the things that I'm going to come on here and talk about, and I'm not going to talk about Doge, I'm not going to talk about Shiba, because those are things that I don't really have a lot of perspective on. I look at them from time to time, but the main point of this conversation is Bitcoin, and I'm more of a maximalist on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the top coins that we see that are going to have practicality. Now, one of the things that I wanted to always bring up to people is, why did you sell your Bitcoin? Why are you, and if you're interested, why? The reason why I say, why did you sell your Bitcoin, is because it's really interesting as I look right here and I'm looking at this chart. I'm looking at Bitcoin. This is Coindesk.com, right? And when you look on Robinhood or Coinbase, you see what's a linear graph. And it's in 10,000s right here, 10,000, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, right? And it's had an amazing run over the years. But here's my whole thought process is, no matter if you bought in here, or even here, statistically, if you look at this from a logarithmic perspective right here, you're going to notice that this is going more towards the hundreds until you get up to the point of the thousands. And this is a 6-year chart from 2014 to 2020. Logarithmically, the chart of Bitcoin has been growing for the last 6 years on a steady uphill climb, right? So even if you buy a little bit, and again, I'm not a financial advisor. I say always invest at your own risk. But when you look at charts like this and you look at the volatility of Bitcoin, you have a volatility scale of 0.95, whereas when you look at things like Doge and Shiba, they're more in the 2s and above, extremely volatile. The all-time high was 64,000 just this past April. And it's, going through its retracting period. So we're in what's called a capitulation stage in this point. So let me go back to the linear, and I can show you right here on the candlestick patterns, kind of the green and reds. These are showing you the upward movement and then the downward movement in the red, basically. When you look at these, a lot of green, a lot of upward movement over the years. But even if I go to you in the last year, I mean, there's been solid improvement on it since, last year, 2020, when you could have bought in before 10 grand. Now, when you're looking at this and you're thinking to yourself, yeah, but this is going down. If you're somebody that's been into this space for long periods of time, you'll know that capitulation or sell-offs are normal. There's margins, which is basically trading on debt. People swing trading, day trading, in which they're using debt. They're saying, let me borrow $60,000 so I can buy a lot of this and then wait for it to go up a couple thousand and sell it. There's a lot of that going on. There was a lot of fear going on, which is what's causing people to sell it off. But as far as investments and long-term assets that have done well year after year, I think Bitcoin and Ethereum are basically your best bets for steady and stable growth within the cryptocurrency. And with this capitulation phase, it's allowing a lot of people to buy in, because a lot of people couldn't buy in at 60,000, but they're starting to pick up on it and buy in at 30 and waiting for it to go down, right? I've been continuously buying over the last couple of years on Bitcoin, buying it at different price points, right? Because I believe in it in the long term, and I can look at it and understand where the future is kind of headed as far as how America is moving towards more digital technology. And it makes sense when you think about it. Bitcoin just makes a lot of sense. It's almost like storing gold on a USB key. You can take it off the internet. You can put it on a hardware wallet. You can leave it on an exchange and buy it. It's like buying a stock, right? But instead you're buying a token. So these are the reasons why I kind of have come to people, and I'm like looking at people and saying, if you look at it logarithmically over, the last all time right here, there's been more green than there has been red. And there's always drops and volatility where the price crashes down and then the price goes up even further. We've seen 2013, we've seen 2017, and now we've seen 2021, where there's been large, massive increases and drops, right? And if you have diamond hands, as they like to call it, or you can be very confident in your decision making, then you can basically hold on to these assets for long terms and do what you want with it, whether you want to cash out on it. There are people that are taking loans against their crypto. There are people that are using their crypto to let others borrow it for interest rates. We are basically becoming the bank with the assets that we own, whether you own a Bitcoin, an Ethereum, a Litecoin, or you're getting into any of the technologies around this. This is a huge opportunity for a lot of people. Blockchain is a huge deal, and it's going to affect many industries. So when I say, why did you sell your Bitcoin? The reason why is because when I look at these charts, it doesn't make sense for you not to have a small investment, even if that's 1 to 3% of your net assets into this space. I would love to hear some feedback, some comments. I'm always open to discussion, but on a daily basis, this is what I do. I check into these and I do research on these, and I deliver feedback and thought-provoking videos and content that allow people to understand that this is more than just what we think. This is going into a new industrial revolution. We're going into a digital industrial revolution that happened. And I'm excited to be a part of it. And I've gotten into this space, and I do these to allow you to understand as well. Thank you. Bye.